Thank you, Presiding Officer. As we rapidly approach the Christmas recess at the end of what has been another record-breaking year for Scottish Renewables, I am delighted that we have this opportunity to discuss and debate how we build on this success with continued support for Scotland's renewables. After almost a decade of investment and support under this SNP government, it was confirmed that Scotland now generates the equivalent of 57% of its total electricity usage from renewables, significantly surpassing the interim target of 50%. This was, as has been noted by my colleague Ivan McKee, a 14% increase from 2014 and represented 26% of total UK renewables generated in 2015, with an estimated 13 million tonnes of carbon dioxide displaced, as was highlighted by Liam MacArthur. We already know that further progress has been made with days in August and since where, for the first time in Scotland, wind turbines generated more electricity than was needed. And in 2016, we've also seen the commencement in Orkney of one of, if not the world's largest tidal turbine trials. Not only are renewables contributing to Scotland achieving our ambitious climate change targets, they're also making a significant economic contribution, something highlighted by both Jackie Bailey and Ben McPherson. Recently released figures from the Office of National Statistics show that in 2014, low-carbon industries in Scotland generated 10.7 billion in turnover, supported 43,500 jobs. This means that Scotland counted for 12.9% of the total UK turnover and 9.7% of the total employment in the sector. Both these numbers are higher than Scotland's population share, demonstrating the importance of low-carbon industries to the Scottish economy. I'd also like to note the positive impact of community renewables, with over £10 million paid to communities hosting renewables in the past year, and an estimated 508 megawatts of capacity now operational, exceeding the 2020 target of 500 megawatts. In my constituency of Renfrewshire South, the Neilson Community Wind Farm produced enough carbon-free electricity in the past year to power twice the number of homes in Neilston. The substantial progress and developments that we have witnessed in the Scottish renewable sector have been undergirded by the steadfast commitment and support of this Scottish Government. Since 2007, Scottish renewable electricity output has more than doubled and is now equivalent to half of the electricity consumed in Scotland. However, this progress is at risk of being undermined by a backward-looking UK Government. While many countries have begun the process of phasing out nuclear power, the UK Government has approved and given kudos to an £18 billion Hinkley project for rolling back support for renewables. It is worth noting that this project will be two-thirds funded by EDF, whom, it was reported in The Guardian last Friday, had 13 of their 58 French atomic plants offline. Now, The Guardian goes on to report that while some were offline due to planned maintenance, most were due to safety checks ordered by the regulator over anomalies discovered in reactor parts. I highlight this, Presiding Officer, because it is further reported that the problems identified stem from a fault first identified last year by the French Nuclear Safety Authority and a reactor currently under construction in France, which uses the same design as approved for Hinkley Point C. We can only hope that the significant new safeguards spoken of by the UK Government in relation to the UK deal are more robust than EDF's reactor design for Hinkley seems to be. But what is definitely not robust in the UK Government's plans for Hinkley C is the thinking behind a guaranteed payment of £92.50 per megawatt, almost double the current wholesale price for electricity. This will mean that ordinary consumers and taxpayers will be forced to subsidise a mature and wealthy industry at the expense of promising renewables. And approving Hinkley C is just one of a number of factors identified by the EY Renewable Energy Country Attractiveness Index as undermining confidence in renewables across the UK. Further highlighted was the closure of the Department for Energy and Climate Change and the uncertainty caused by Brexit. Against this backdrop, it is important that when the UK Government does publish its industrial strategy and emissions reduction plan, that they include details about the long-term support for renewable energy. More immediately, the UK Government has to realise that reneging on their commitments to reserve a portion of the contract for difference budget for marine energy projects is frankly a slap in the face to this emerging industry, which has progressed more in the past year than in any other year. The UK Government should work with the Scottish Government to perhaps provide some bespoke agreements so that we can safeguard our global lead in this dynamic and creative sector. Presiding Officer, Whitehall has been fond of saying that Scotland has two governments, but it's clear from the approach taken by the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy that Scotland has too often been an afterthought. As the Minister noted in his opening remarks, given that the Secretary of State, Greg Clark, has stated that there are few nations that could claim to have embraced renewable energy with as much enthusiasm and success as Scotland, surely it is now time for the UK Government to start matching that enthusiasm and support the Scottish Government's ambitions for Scottish renewables.
Thank you very much, Mr.